What's up everybody, it's Matt from Peter Glenn, and in this video we're going to talk to you a little bit about binding warranty, what is and what isn't covered. Let's check this out. Okay, so when it comes to warranty on bindings, it's no different than any of your other snowboard equipment. Binding companies like Union here, who has one of the strongest, best warranties on bindings in the market, they basically will cover the construction of the binding. And Union, like most companies, they have different warranties for different parts of the binding. Main parts of your binding, we got your base plate and your heel loop. Sometimes that's separate like these, or like the Burton bindings where the base plate and the heel loop are all one piece. And then you've got your high back, straps, and your ratchets. And obviously there's other pieces of hardware, but those are the main portions of the binding. Now, obviously, if you're not sure exactly what the warranty is on the bindings that you just bought, just go to that company's specific website and check out their warranty policy. They're all mostly the same from one to the other, but there can be some little differences here and there. Another good thing to do too is make sure you hold on to your receipt. Do not lose that. If you do come across a warranty issue with your bindings, you're gonna need to prove that you bought them from an authorized retailer. Also, that being said, note that binding warranties are only good for the original buyer. If you buy a pair of bindings and then the year later you sell them to your buddy so you can get a new pair, he does not get the warranty. Another good thing to note for the warranties too is that a lot of times the companies will have lifetime warranties on the base plate and or the high back. Now, when they say lifetime warranty, that doesn't refer to your lifetime. That refers to the lifetime of the binding. If you go out and you buy, let's say, this Union Force and you ride it once or twice a year, it's obviously gonna last a lot longer than somebody who buys the same binding and rides 75 to 100 days a year. Just like with everything, these bindings are gonna wear out over time. And it's not like they are gonna wear out in just a year, but they aren't gonna last forever. And again, that lifetime warranty, that has to do with the lifetime of the binding, the reasonable time for the binding to last. Another thing that's good to note about the other parts of the bindings is that if you do have a little part, let's say like the ratchet, and that breaks, that doesn't mean you're getting an entirely new binding. If it's a part that's easily replaceable, which most binding parts are, the company will replace the part. They're not gonna give you an entirely new binding. So all of that being said, we talk about stuff that is covered under warranty. Now, when it comes to the base plate and the heel loop, again, a lot of companies have lifetime warranties against breakage. So if the base plate, the heel loop, or if that's all one piece, if any of that cracks or breaks from normal usage, that is covered under warranty. Likewise with the high back, a lot of times these things are gonna last you forever. But again, if something does happen to break, let's say around the hardware or up top, just again from normal usage, a lot of times they will cover that under warranty and you can get a new high back if something happens to yours. And when you go to the rest of the parts on the binding, again with the straps and any of this little hardware, the ratchets, any of that stuff, if that stuff does break, and a lot of times it's around a 1 to 2 year warranty on this stuff, but if it does break, again, from normal usage, companies can quick send you a replacement part and you can basically unscrew, put the new one on, and then you'll be back in business in no time. A lot of times too, if you just go to your local shop, they'll have a bunch of these parts laying around so you can get it replaced even quicker. And that's a good thing to note too, is that you might actually have a buckle that breaks. You might be able to get a new buckle from whatever company your binding came from, but you could go to a local shop and get a replacement part that can work until you get that new buckle. So you're not gonna be missing out on any riding. So from there, that takes us into what's not covered under warranty. Now, when it comes to the base plates and the heel loops, obviously they're gonna guarantee these things are not gonna break, they're not gonna bend from normal usage, but you leave your board sitting in the parking lot and you accidentally back over it with your car, that's not covered under warranty. Anything that's outside of normal usage. Another big thing too is if you do not have your bindings mounted properly, that's gonna void the warranty right off the bat. If you're trying to take an EST binding, put it on a regular board with inserts, if you try to put a 4-hole pattern on an old 3-hole board and you don't have the proper screws or you're not using the proper amount of screws, the companies have seen everything and they can tell if you haven't been using the bindings properly, or again, if you've had them mounted improperly. Another big thing too is modifying the hardware. I've seen people try to take the hardware and cut it down to make it shorter or not use the right hardware because they lost a bolt and they ended up having to use a screw that's not the proper screw. All of that stuff will void the warranty. Also, when it comes to all those screws, whether it's on the base plate and the heel loop or whether it's on your straps, if you lose screws, That's basically just from not checking. You should always check your screws and make sure that everything is tight on every single part of your binding before you go out. Again, not covered under warranty, but most of the times you can go again to your local shop and they'll have a replacement part so you can get that put back together super, super quick. Another thing with the straps is that if you have any unusual wear on your straps and it's just from your boot, or you just have wear and tear on your ratchets because they're getting old, it's something that does happen. The ratchets do wear out. And if you don't have your buckles adjusted properly, you don't have your straps centered up properly, a lot of times you can put a lot of unnecessary wear and tear on the ratchet, and that is not covered under warranty. But again, super, super easy replacement. Usually you can go to the local shop and they'll have a replacement part. And if you're nice, a lot of times they're not even gonna charge you. And then moving on to the Highbacks, these things do last a long time. And the main thing that we actually see with the Highbacks is you leaving your high back up and there's a lot of snow underneath the chairlift when you go to sit down, and that chairlift comes, it barely clears the high back, and then everybody sits down and all that weight comes down on the high back and breaks it. The companies can't guarantee that this high back can hold up to that much weight coming straight down on it. It's not what the bindings are designed for. So just make sure once you get into the lift line to swing your high backs down, and you'll never have to worry about a broken high back. So again, just like with most of your snowboard gear, it's pretty easy. If it has to do with the construction of the binding and it's something that happened under normal wear and tear, that is covered under warranty. If it's something that has to do with just the aesthetic of the binding, or if it's something that had to do with improper use, improper mounting, using the wrong screws, or just not checking to make sure that your screws are tight, that is not covered under warranty. But if you got any questions beyond what we talked about in the video, definitely leave some comments down below. We're on there every single day trying to answer your questions. We want to make sure we can get you into some rad gear. We want to make sure that it's going to last you as long as possible too. Also make sure to like, subscribe, and definitely get that notification bell on too so you can find out when all the new videos drop. And head over to peterglenn.com, grab yourself a new set of bindings, get them mounted up, and get out and ride. Because any day of riding is a good day of riding.